While Barcelona and Atlético Madrid go head-to-head today, Barça sit first in La Liga with 11 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses, scoring 39 goals while allowing 16. On the other side, Atleti, they sit fourth in the league with 9 wins, 4 draws, and 1 loss, scoring 27 goals and allowing 11. Now, ahead of this big matchup, Barça's manager Hansi Flick spoke about his team this year versus how they were last year, admitting that they aren't as good this year. Let's take a listen.
I'm really happy about my team. They're doing good. I know we are not top like last season. Of course, everyone normally wants to play on this level, but we have potential. And we have to increase our level, and this is what we want to do, and we work on that.
Is it surprising what he had to say about his team, admitting that they aren't as good this year versus last year? I know sometimes managers are not always wanting to put that out there as much, and maybe not exactly, I'm not going to say not tell the truth, but they maybe try to make some excuses. What do you make of what he had to say?
I think it's a reality.
Yeah.
You also don't win trophies in December. You win trophies in May, and you got to improve. And the reality is that Barcelona aren't as good as they were last season, and teams are starting to figure them out. Where I'm worried is that Hansi Flick recognizes this, and he's not willing to adapt or evolve. More than anything, Barça is going to play the way that they play. But where's the next step? Where's the evolution? Adaptation perhaps indicates that you need to change the way that you are. And I don't know if Barcelona is going to change their essence. But how do you evolve? How do you not have these glaring weaknesses that teams have been exploiting game after game after game? And having said all this, they're sitting top flight. They're sitting at the very top of La Liga. But I think that's also a matter of fact that everybody around hasn't been their sharpest.
They're sitting just barely. I mean, between them and Atleti, who are in fourth, there's only like 1 or 2 points that separate them, Lahoud.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the same Barcelona side. They are in theory in terms of the players, but you look at the numbers, and this is a side that's built to outscore teams. A lot of the matches last season, you had some Champions League matches. I think the Benfica match, I think it was at 5-4, where they're going to concede, but they're going to throw numbers forward. I see in the final third, one of the players we saw up there, we see the void that Raphinha has meant to this team. Not only from a quality standpoint in the final third, but I had questioned, and you pushed back on me in this, and I think it was a good thing you pushed back, because I said, I don't know who are the leaders on this team. Inigo Martinez, definitely a leader last season. Hansi Flick came out, gave him his flowers. Raphinha is a leader for this team.
Yeah, Raphinha, Lewandowski, Pedri, all that have been out through injury this season. Raphinha gives you so much from a goals and assists perspective offensively, but he's the one that leads the press. Barcelona are better with him on the field, on both sides of the ball. Lewandowski's Lewandowski, and as much as Fermin has been amazing deputizing for Lewandowski, you're not going to be at that type of level Lewandowski for an entire season, or perhaps in the big moments. Ferran has also appeared, but again, these quality players that can change games with Pedri being out, he's now coming back. Having him alongside De Jong is important. Gavi has an injury that's been longer than anticipated. So it's how do you grab these absences and not lose quality in Barcelona? And perhaps this season there have been moments where maybe it's too Lamine Yamal focused and you haven't had solutions to teams that have been able to find a way to break you.
You're going to be on the call today for this big Barça-Atleti match. You've been able to see Barcelona really up close and personal this year. So we've been talking about the changes that Barcelona need to make and why they've been so different this year. For you, what's been your perspective on all of that?
Yeah, I've been sitting along nodding to myself while I was listening to you guys discussing, because I'm in agreement with a lot of things that you said. You put the numbers up on the screen there and you had the comparison between this season and last season. And if you look at the numbers, there isn't a huge amount of difference. And if you look at where they are in the table, they have exactly the same record as they did at this stage of the season last season. Last season, after 14 games, they were top with 34 points, 11 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. They'd scored 3 more goals last season, and this season they've conceded a few more. But essentially, numbers-wise, it's not that different. What is different is the feeling of vulnerability that Barcelona have defensively. And as Nico said, it does feel like teams, A, have figured Barcelona out a little bit more now in the second season, and B, Barca haven't been able to react to that. And that offside line hasn't been played as well as it was last season. You mentioned Inigo Martinez. I didn't think we'd be talking about him this much. When he went to go to Saudi Arabia in the summer, I didn't think we'd be mentioning Inigo Martinez that much. But boy, they've missed him. And also, it's worth reminding ourselves that Barcelona have been missing Raphinha, Pedri and Joan Garcia for a big chunk of this season, 3 absolutely key players in every part of the pitch. They didn't keep a clean sheet when Joan Garcia was out. Wojciech Szczesny conceded in all 9 matches. He's a decent goalkeeper. He's a character. It was a great story last season, but Joan Garcia is an infinitely better goalkeeper with the ball and making saves than Wojciech Szczesny. He's back. Pedri's coming back to fitness. And Raphinha, you touched upon it as well. It's what he does without the ball, which is almost as important as what he does with the ball. His numbers last season, ridiculous. The goals, the assists, fantastic. But the energy, the leadership, the contagious enthusiasm for that high press, which is absolutely vital to this Barcelona side, has been missing, badly missing over the games that he was out. Remember, last season, he wasn't injured at all. He missed 2 games, both of which because he was away with international duty with Brazil and he was a little bit tired, but that was it. He wasn't injured last season. He was 100%, and that was a key component of Barcelona's success this season. We've seen him miss a good chunk of football matches, and Barcelona have desperately missed him.
Phil, spot on with everything you're saying. And then I'm looking at this Atlético Madrid side that with very few passes is very comfortable with inflicting danger, right? Barcelona on the press, without Raphinha, so unorganized. And teams have kind of been able to play through them with very little passes. And Atlético Madrid, they have many facets to their game because they have a lot of quality. But one thing that they're very comfortable with, like I said, is when a couple of passes, you're able to break that poor Barcelona press, if it is poor at the moment, and score a goal.
Barcelona have conceded the same goal over and over again, and they've conceded the same kind of chances as well. So Atletico Madrid know how they can hurt Barcelona. They will have been training, breaking that offside trap, making those runs from deep, timing the runs well, playing the balls over the top, because you know those are the opportunities you're going to get against Barcelona. I do think it's interesting to see how Atletico Madrid approach this game. Is Diego Simeone going to maybe revert to type a little bit, try and sit deep and hit Barcelona on the counter-attack, which he did last season, by the way, when they won at Montjuic and they weathered a huge Barcelona storm and then scored in injury time to win a dramatic game 2-1. That worked that occasion. Or is he going to be a little bit more daring and say, you know what, I've seen Alavés cause problems to Barcelona. I've seen Rayo Vallecano cause problems to Barcelona. I can do this. Atletico Madrid can do this. We have the quality players to be able to play a little bit further forward and try and break that high line further up the pitch. So I'm interested to see how Atleti approach this game today.
Phil, I mean, the star of the weekend for Atleti was Alexander Sørloth, who he's been a bit of a maverick this season. Last season, 20-plus goals. This season, the goals have kind of been wanting. Cholo Simeone spoke about his qualities coming into the match. What sort of threat do you see Atleti posing with the possibility of Sørloth, Griezmann, or Julian?
I think the threat from Sørloth is going to come from the bench because I don't think he's going to start this game tonight. But he does have a really good scoring record in Barcelona. Against Barcelona, he scored the winner in this fixture last season. And coming off the bench, I think perhaps is something that he's going to be used today. Julian Alvarez, and, you know, Nico, I'm sorry to maybe be a little bit critical about an Argentine national team player, but Julian Alvarez, his away form has been disappointing. I think it's 1 goal in 14 away matches for Julian. And actually, he scored 7 goals in the league, but those have come in little fits and starts. I think he's only scored in 3 games. Those 7 goals have come in 3 games. So I think he needs to up his game a little bit as well, certainly in terms of output. He's a terrific player, a really intelligent player.
We need to take a break right here on Morning Footy. I'm kidding.
It's been fun. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying, because Julian we do have such high standards for him because he is such a big player. And actually, he's not been delivering in terms of the numbers in recent weeks for Atleti.
I can see this game playing out, like you say, Phil, typical Cholo. Decides to sit a little bit further back, have that space in behind. But but if I had to guess, I feel like Cholo will say, you know what, here, Barça have the ball a little bit and will be better in transition. You have Giuliano Simeone, that's been an incredible highlight this season. The one player that they're missing
is another Argentine.
But Llorente has been an incredible complement on that right-hand side with Giuliano, and he's not fit, right? So it'll have to be Molina, which look at how objective I am. Played for Boca. I don't really rate him.
There is another option, by the way. Marc Pubil.
Let's hear it. Pubil,
he's been great.
They trained with him in the starting 11 yesterday. That was a team that Cholo trained with Marc Pubil in it. Whether or not it's as a third centre-back and Giuliano Simeone as kind of a wing-back on the right-hand side, or as Pubil with being the right-back. But there is another option apart from Nahuel Molina. Sorry.
So, Phil, I want to go back to a moment that happened over the weekend. We touched on Hansi Flick and Raphinha. Hansi Flick looked exhausted, just mentally fatigued on the sideline. Raphinha consoling him and telling him, hey, we got this, right? This is the start of something. We're going to be back. What's being made of that on the grounds in Spain? And can you give us more detail into where things are right now?
A lot was made of this, Michael. It was really quite extraordinary, the images. To see Hansi Flick staring like a 1,000-yard stare, he looked broken. He looked exhausted. He looked completely broken. And Raphinha going over there to try and cheer him up. Obviously, he was asked about it in the press conference yesterday. He tried to make light of it. He did make light of it. He said, guys, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm strong enough to continue. In that particular moment, he was really frustrated and really angry because his assistant manager, Marcus Sorg, had been sent off. And he'd had a bit of an argument with Marcus Sorg. And he said, Marcus is the most important person for me here. So he'd had a bit of a argument with his close confidant. This is what he's saying, right? But he did also say, and the game against Alavés at the weekend, which they won 3-1, but they were struggling towards the end. He said, and the game was a very, very difficult one. And I was quite exhausted. I was quite tired from that game. So making a little bit of an allusion to the fact that Barcelona, in a match at home to Alavés, which should have been comfortable, wasn't. And that took a little bit of a toll on him. But the actual reason for him being in that kind of catatonic state almost was because he'd had an argument with his assistant manager, and his assistant manager is very important to him. So nothing to do with anything more sinister or deeper, apparently. But he did make allusions to the fact that, this is a game that we should have wrapped up. We didn't. And that took it out of me a bit.
Well, Phil, we appreciate it if everything goes the way it has been the past month. Maybe we'll see you in 2026, if not 2027, whenever you decide to join us next.
Not if Nico's got any decisions on it.
Well, we speak bad about any Argentines in the future. I think it's Nico that's been keeping you off the show here, and that's why. Thank you, Phil. Look forward to hearing you on the call for the big Barça Atleti game.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.